Welcome to Mastering Communication, Negotiation, Sales. I'm Caeser Abdalla, and this channel is all about one thing: giving you the skills to connect, influence, and win in the real world, really make an impact and move that needle. Whether it's speaking with confidence, negotiating a deal, building trust, communication is the edge that sets you apart. So if you want to stand out in a world where AI is dominant and social media noise is everywhere, hit subscribe, join me, comment, participate in this conversation, because the future belongs to those who know how to connect. And let me tell you what's been keeping me up at night lately. We're stepping into a future where artificial intelligence will not just change the way you and I work, it will change how you and I talk, how we listen, and how we understand each other as humans. If we let AI write our words, speak our ideas, and even mimic our emotions, what happens to us? Do we slowly lose the very skill that makes us human? The advent of AI is here. The philosopher George Bernard Shaw once said, the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. And in an age of AI and social media, that illusion is becoming more dangerous than ever. But are we really connecting? The future is coming, whether we like it or not. AI will become smarter, it will become faster, it will be more present in every part of your life and my life. We can't resist it, and nor should we, but we should prepare for it. And the way to prepare isn't just by learning new technology, it's by doubling down on the one thing machines can't replicate: authentic human connection. If we want to lead, inspire, and protect the essence of real connection, especially for the next generation, we have to invest in that skill that has shaped history and will define the future: communication. And here's the bigger concern. What about your kids? My kids, the next generation. If we grow in a world where screens and machines do all the talking for them, how will they actually learn to truly connect, to negotiate, to inspire, to engage, to live in the real world? You know, a few nights ago, my mates and I had a conversation, and we came across this claim that millennials are afraid to speak with tradies. Now, I couldn't find any stats to back that up, so I'd treat the story with a bit of skepticism. But what is true is that Gen Z tradies prefer face-to-face interaction despite growing up digital. In fact, 81% choose to talk on site rather than text or email. And on a broader level, phone anxiety is real, but only about 16% of millennials and Gen Z view phone calls as valuable communication. And that brings us to this moment. What do we do about it? How do we prepare ourselves, our kids, our workplaces for this reality? And the answer is simple. We invest in communication, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. We live in the real world, and that means communication and actions have real consequences. They shape your career. Communication shapes your relationships, your confidence, and even your income. That's why I like to draw on history and real events when I talk, because history proves that the right words spoken at the right time can literally change the course of nations. And today, in a world redefined by AI and social media, those same principles apply to your life, your work, and your future. I like to think of myself as a student of history, of geopolitics, a bad student at that. I'm a bit nerdy like that. It interests me. But if history has taught us anything, there has been one skill that has changed the destiny of nations. It's shaped revolutions and built legacies, and that is communication. That is the ability to move people with words, and presence has always separated those who lead from those who follow. I've spent my career in and around leaders, professionals, and high performers master the art of communication and negotiation. And I'm about to tell you something. It might sound uncomfortable at first, a bit scary, but if we don't act now, we will risk losing one of the greatest human powers we've ever had. But I'll also show you hope and why the greatest opportunity of a lifetime if we're willing to invest in ourselves and in the next generation. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Communication has always been humanity's greatest weapon and its greatest gift. Think about it. Wars were won and lost because of it. Civilizations rose and fell because of it. And the ability to influence, to inspire, to persuade, that is what moves the world. Now, I mentioned I like a bit of history, so I'm going to draw parallels with a historic event. In 1962, the world was holding its breath. It was called the Cuban Missile Crisis. Now, some of the older generations will know this, maybe the new ones don't. It was the closest the world came to nuclear war during the Cold War. Soviet nuclear missiles were discovered in Cuba, about 90 miles south of the US. And for 13 days, the US, the Soviet Union, and the world stood on the brink of catastrophe. Nuclear missiles were pointed, soldiers were waiting for the command, and in living rooms across the world, across America and the former Soviet Union, families sat scared in silence, wondering if the sky would turn into fire. That was the fear millions carried during those 13 days. And then something remarkable happened. In the shadows of politics, behind the scenes, the President of the United States, John F. Kennedy, and the leader of the Soviet Union, Nikita, began exchanging words. They started to speak. They started to have human connectivity and conversations. The lives of millions were weighing on their shoulders, and slowly, through those words, tensions cracked. The orders to press the button never came. The bombs never fell. The world woke up to another morning, and you and I are here today. Think about that. The world didn't step back from destruction because of weapons. It stepped back because two people chose to communicate. Words helped back war. Words kept hope alive. That is the power of communication. It can literally save the world. It did. Even in your life and my life, every promotion, every relationship, every deal you've ever had come down to how you communicate. Words open doors. Silences close the doors. Presence will command respect or it'll get ignored. You see, communication isn't just a soft skill, it's a damn life skill. And we haven't really been taught it properly. And we're now on the precipice of a new world order, a global change, an industrial revolution. We've already stepped into the world of artificial intelligence. And fight it as much as you want. It's here, AI is here, and it's not going away. And think about it, for baby boomers, Gen X, Millennials, Gen Z or Z, every generation is about to face the biggest shift in how we work, how we connect, and even how we think. And the way these generations communicate now is drastically different. Think about the future. You see, baby boomers prefer face-to-face conversations and phone calls. Over 65% say they feel more comfortable with direct in-person communication, a gentleman's handshake as they call it. Whereas Gen X, they balance between phone calls, emails, they grew up with both worlds and they adapt on the same setting. They've got one foot in the other and one foot in one camp and one foot in the other camp. Millennials, they lean heavily towards instant messaging, text, social media, speed. It's all about convenience for them. It's not about formality, not so much about connection. Whereas Gen Z, the TikTok and Snapchat generation, 70% of them feel more comfortable expressing themselves online with an emoji or a like than in person. Now, here's my prediction. With the rise and advent of AI and digital avatars, future generations may rely so much on mediated communication that face-to-face skills, eye contact, body language, the tone and the rhythm and the cadence of your voice, it'll become rare. Imagine you're negotiating a salary, pitching a business idea, or quoting a customer, and the other person doesn't have that ability to connect authentically because they've never had to practice it. They've outsourced it. They've relied on AI. Check this out. A close friend of mine was recently hiring staff. He wasn't interested in, CVs online because he knew AI is going to write them. But what he wanted was real person. He wanted to see that person, how they carry themselves, how they interact, how they could actually connect. So he did something pretty smart. Instead of asking for applications on paper or Seek or online, he asked for something simple. He said, give me a 2-minute video recording. And when he showed me the submissions, we were both shocked. We were shocked by the lack of charisma, the lack of energy, the absence of genuine engagement. Candidate after candidate, application after application, struggled to connect even the most basic human level. He gave him ample opportunity and an environment where they were comfortable in, and it didn't come. And that's the point. His strategy was brilliant. In just 2 minutes, he cut through the noise and saw the truth. Technical skills might get you noticed, but if you can't communicate with confidence, with passion, you won't last long in any role that requires human interaction. And I keep saying it. That's why communication isn't a soft skill. It's the survival skill of the future. And if we don't invest in it for ourselves and for our kids and revisit the way we educate about communication and interaction, we're going to risk creating a generation brilliant with technology, but unable to connect as humans. You see, AI can write it, it can analyze it, it can even speak it, but there's one thing AI can't do. It can't be human. It can't replace the look in the eye when you're telling the truth. It can't replace confidence in your voice when you're leading a room. It can't replace the authenticity of human presence. And here's my other fear. If we allow AI to completely speak for us, if we outsource it completely to AI, if we stop practicing the art of conversation, if we rely on technology to express our emotions, our arguments, our ideas, then what happens to the most human part of us? We're going to lose it until one day we'll wake up and realize we've outsourced the very thing that makes us leaders, that makes us parents, that makes us friends, the ability to connect and influence through words. I've got some more bad news for you. I'm about to break it. The erosion has already begun. Just look at it. Look how social media has changed the way we interact. Scrolling replaces speaking. Emojis on your phone replace feelings and emotions. A like replaces a real conversation. You've seen it and I've seen it. Kids sitting around at a cafe or at a restaurant, they're not talking to each other. They're just staring at their phones, scrolling. At work, your colleagues sitting next to you, they don't get up and have a chat with you. They send you a Teams message. It's living proof. We're living proof of it. And we're living in a time where people are more connected than ever, but we're more disconnected than ever. And if we don't do something now, the AI revolution is going to accelerate that loss even further. But put doom and gloom aside. This is where I am optimistic, and I'm an optimist. I'm a realist and an optimist, and you'll learn that about me. The very thing that feels like a threat, AI, technology, social media, I believe will actually make human connection more valuable than ever before. Think about it. When everybody's relying on AI to speak for them, draft their emails, they even have avatar as their front. When they respond to quotes online, the person who can speak for themselves authentically, genuinely, will stand out. When everyone hides behind a screen, the person who can command a room will be unforgotten. When most people avoid tough conversations, the person who can negotiate and persuade, diffuse a situation, they will inspire, they will lead, they will get hired. And in the next decade, your ability to communicate, to use your voice, to use your body, your presence will not just be an advantage. I'm telling you, it'll be the key difference. And that's why I genuinely believe more than ever before, we need to invest in communication, not just for ourselves, but for our children. Because if they grow up in a world where AI and screens do all the talking, they will lose the skill that has built empires, that's freed nations and created every great movement in history. And more importantly, strengthened relationships, genuine relationships at that human level. And here's my challenge. Don't wait. Don't assume communication is just something you pick up. It's not. It's a skill that must be practiced, refined, and mastered. Think about it like this. Think about it like training in the gym. If you want to achieve a physical goal, you don't get there by accident. You hit the gym, you hit the track, you lift the weights, you do the stretches, you move your body day after day, week after week, repetition, consistency. That's how strength is built. And communication, like anything else, is no different. You've got to train it, work it, practice it. You build presence the same way you build muscle, through repetition and discipline. You strengthen your voice, your confidence, your ability to connect the same way you strengthen your body, by showing up and doing the damn work. The future belongs to those who don't just rely on their knowledge, but on their ability to express it with impact. And the question is, are you and I training our communication, or are we letting it weaken while the world moves on and our reliance and outsourcing to AI continues, and heavily more so than ever before. The future belongs to the communicators. And the question you need to ask yourself is, will I be one of them? Will my kids be one of them? AI not only will change the world, it will reshape how we connect. But nothing will ever replace the human voice, the human presence, the human ability to inspire. Back to history. History has always belonged to the great communicators. And the future, if you're willing to invest in yourself, can belong to you and your kids. Your words have power. Don't ever give that power away. Hey, thanks for joining and listening in. I really appreciate your time. Your time is extremely valuable, and I get that. My name is Caesar. I've worked with professionals, leaders all around the world, right? Ones that inspired, ones that absolutely failed. And one thing I've noticed that's a key theme amongst the best of the best, whether they're in tech, in mining, in government, whatever it is, one thing is the ability to communicate. The best relationships I've seen in life are the ones that are able to communicate, whether it's a father and a son, a wife and a husband, a daughter and their mother. It's their ability to communicate. It's their ability to engage themselves. It's their ability to be able to disagree without having an argument. It's ability to negotiate without compromising. And this is why I need to share this message with you today. We've been talking a lot with my friends, with my colleagues, with my circles, and this advent of AI is about to change the world. And I want to talk you through that. I want to talk you through how we can address that, what impact it's going to have. And throughout my YouTube clips, my series, my podcasts, my sound clips, I'm going to take you on a journey, a transformational journey, where we can go from not able to communicate effectively to owning the room and saying exactly what you want, how you want, when you want, with the effect that you want it to have. Listen in, subscribe in, let's do it together.